you give and take away. I was going back and forward between whether I should include that in the song or not. And the reason was I knew with some people it wouldn't be a popular thing to put in there. But the reason I included it, firstly, because it's obviously thoroughly biblical, comes straight out of the mouth of Job and, in the Old Testament. But the reason was because I thought I like that this lyric cost you something. To say you give and take away, blessed be your name, and be prepared to live that, you've got to really believe in the sovereignty of God over your life. And you've also really got to believe in his Father's heart for you, that he really cares for you, that he wants the best for you. Even when your world's hit rock bottom, even when stuff's been taken away from you that you couldn't ever fathom would have been taken away from you, you're still able to find your way to the place of trust and hope and praise and faith and say, blessed be your name.
Welcome to the Worship Probs podcast, where we aim to entertain, encourage, and equip worship and tech leaders all around the world. Look, we all know that serving in worship and production is great, but the problems, those are real. Thanks for joining us as we dive into today's episode with our host, Brian Tabor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 356 of the Worship Probs podcast. Welcome back, friends. Woo! Finger guns. Up in the air. We have a killer episode for you today. We're both so pumped. Mrs. Probs is here. Kim Tabor.
Hello. Yes.
So glad to have you. Man, we've got a great episode today. As always, we got some classic prayer concerns to share with you, make you laugh, encourage your heart. And then we have an incredible, any conversation with Matt Redman is incredible. But this one is especially incredible. You're going to want to share this with your worship team. You're going to want to share it with your church family, your regular family, your work family, your Boy and Girl Scout family. What other kind of families are there? Like every family you have.
All the families. All the families. Todos los familias. You're going to want to share with them this episode with Matt Redman. It's a killer conversation. He hadn't been with us in a while. It was episode 243 back in August of 2023 when he was here last. But man, what can you say about Matt Redman? He just dropped a new record called Life and Breath. You're going to want to get it. You're going to want to get it now. But after you hear this conversation, you're really going to want to get it. And so it's going to be great. Thanks for tuning in today and listening, spending a few moments with us. Hey, and make sure that you're following us on the socials right here at the top. For those of you who skip out on the end, I'm looking at you. At Worship Probs, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. Okay. You're everywhere.
At Worship Probs.
Everywhere.
We're everywhere. And then on TikTok, it's our old name. We went through a name change. If you don't know what that's about, God bless you. But TikTok is our old name at Worship Leader Probs. But make sure you follow us on all those socials and hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this. Hit subscribe on the tubes as well on YouTube. And then before we dive in any further today, I want to show some serious love to our amazing partners, the folks at Planning Center. They've been with us since the very beginning in 2018. They're just the best in the business. What else can you say about Planning Center? I mean, it's just revolutionized how we are able to efficiently do so many things in ministry. And then DC Pro LVA, if you're building a building or you're revamping your production space, maybe you need new lighting, new audio, video, you're looking for an LED wall. Maybe you need a company that can come in and partner with you and just help you make sense of all the gear that you have. These guys, I'm telling you, Daniel Connell, the founder, was with us a couple of episodes ago. Daniel is the real deal.
Yep.
Absolutely the real deal. Yep. Loves Jesus, and they will help you, I promise. There's a link in our bio for them. But let me tell you a little bit more about Planning Center and DC Pro LVA. This episode of the Worship Probs podcast is brought to you by Planning Center, an all-in-one software that can help you organize every facet of your ministry, connect with your people, and help your people stay connected to each other. Among the many ways Planning Center can help you do that is through task management. In Planning Center, you can create detailed tasks, organize to-do lists, and even collaborate on those tasks with other team members in real time. Do you have recurring events and projects with long to-do lists? Make a task list template to save time. Have regular tasks you need help keeping up with? Set your tasks to automatically repeat at an interval of your choosing. And the best part is that you can create tasks from absolutely anywhere in Planning Center using the toolbar. You'll find your Tasks tab in Planning Center Home, the place you see all the important updates happening across your account. To learn more and get started today, visit planningcenter.com or click the link in our bio. Prayer Concerns is brought to you by DC Pro LVA. They specialize in transforming worship experiences with professional lighting, video, and audio solutions tailored for churches. Their team understands the unique production needs of churches and delivers cutting-edge equipment and personalized service to enhance services, events, and special gatherings. From vibrant LED walls and crystal clear audio systems to dramatic lighting designs, DC Pro LVA provides reliable, volunteer-friendly solutions that amplify your message and create a welcoming atmosphere for your congregation. Choose DC Pro LVA to elevate your church's worship environment with seamless production support. Their thorough design approach and dedicated team ensure your services run smoothly, engaging worshipers and fostering connection. Visit dcprolva.com or find them through the link in our bio to explore how their customized solutions can equip and empower your team, making every moment of worship unforgettable. Partner with DC Pro LVA today to create a powerful and inspiring experience for your church. Where the Worship Probs podcast is thrilled to have, I don't think the word legend is misplaced here today, but we have like worship leading royalty here, Mr. Matt Redman. Welcome back to the podcast.
Always a pleasure.
Oh man, we love having you so much, and it's been a minute, so it's good to have you back. How is fall going for you so far? You're playing plenty of pickleball, I hope.
Yeah, playing plenty of pickleball. I actually tore my meniscus, so I was out for a while, and then I'm back just the last few weeks. So I'm enjoying playing. All my friends have gone way beyond me now, so that's a little bit disappointing. I think I played for 2 hours the other day and didn't win one game, so it's good for my character as well as my health. Apparently,
I love that.
That's good. And then I just got back from South Africa and Dubai, and had a wonderful trip up there. Got to lead in Dubai with my friend Tim Hughes. We do some life together, but we don't get to minister together that much. So that was a real treat to get to do that. And it was actually a cool moment because the promoter for the event was the first time he got permission to use a government building. So we're in the World Trade Center there, and just wonderful. And then 4 nights in South Africa as well.
My goodness!
First went there when I was 21 years old. I haven't been for a while, so that was lovely.
Wow! Well, I wish we could have been with you, man. I'm sure that was awesome. Well, okay, we like to have a little bit of fun. So as we're getting rolling here, Matt Redman, welcome to the hot seat. I've got 5 rapid fire questions. They're kind of silly, but you'll do. Okay, number one.
It's all right. I know your vibe. It's good.
you know.
I volunteered for this.
Okay. All right. Number 1, burger or salad? What are you picking most of the time?
Ooh. Well, I love burger, but I am gluten-free. So most places I go, I can't have the whole burger experience.
Yeah.
So if there was an exceptional salad on offer, I might go for that instead.
Nice. All right. Making a good choice there. That's good. What's the number 2? What's the last song you played on your phone?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think it was a song by a band called Inhaler, and that's an Irish band who the lead singer is Bono's son.
Wow.
My kids have introduced me to this band, and they're decent. Yeah, there's little
that's cool.
Some little Bono inflections all over the place.
Yeah, but, I'll check that out. Yeah. Number 3, if you were going to pick a superpower, what would you choose?
Great question. Well, I'm allergic to kryptonite, so maybe I would be. No, I'm joking. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see through walls or anything. That's just weird. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm thinking flight. I would probably like to fly. I'd like to fly.
Yeah, flight or swimming underwater for a long time could be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Like Aquaman,
Like Aquaman. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. Do you have a favorite comfort food?
Oh, do you know what's weird? If you give me a perfectly ripe avocado with a little sprinkle of salt on it, I could eat that any day, anytime.
Oh, man, that sounds really good.
I love it. And in England, we can't get perfectly ripe avocados. There's no such thing in England. I don't know if it's by the time they've traveled there, there's something very wrong with them. Do not ever eat avocado in England. But in California, man.
You're in the land of avocados.
They're kind of almost crunchy in England. They're very strange.
Oh, no.
Okay, so is there number 5, is there a little known fact about you that people might find hard to believe? Like I didn't know you played pickleball, and you told me that before we recorded.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any other surprising Matt Redman facts?
Never changed the strings on my guitar. Someone always does it for me. And it's not because I think I'm something, it's because I'm completely inept at it. And I've got to a point where, okay, we can't afford for the strings to be going out of tune and me having to retune after every song. So I just realized this is not my gift. And there's a roll of honor of people, Martin Smith, Stu Garrard, a lot of guitarists. I mean, our sound man changed him the other day because he was so despondent that I hadn't been changed for like 6 months. So it makes me look like I think I'm, some prima donna or I'm super lazy. But the honest truth is, it's just I'm completely inept in that area, and I don't know how to. It's too late to fix it now. I'm meant to be professional.
It's too late.
It's too late. It's too late. Oh, that's fantastic, man.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are so thrilled to have you back. It's been since 2023, episode 243 since you were last.
Wow, you guys are racking them up. That's amazing.
And it was actually right before the first Worth conference, which we happened to attend at the Museum of the Bible. And it was an incredibly powerful day. And so we're excited to be able to talk about your new project, Life and Breath. And it's your first live studio album.
Yeah.
And it's actually a return to the essence of worship. And so is there something related to that you have been wrestling with for a while now, to do a project that talks about a return to the essence of worship? What are the things you've been wrestling with?
I mean, I think that every time you write a new batch of songs, sometimes some little threads and themes come through. But the one that seems to always come through to me is like this whole throne room thing, and like are the things that we're singing and saying, are they appropriate for the throne room of God? Are they a good fit? And that's kind of what we're running everything through these days, even like the tone of how we talk to God. Like I think about that a lot. I think about you get a lot of clues as to how people talk to God throughout Scripture, right? So you've got the Psalms, for example. You've got these heavenly throne room passages like Ezekiel, Daniel, Isaiah, Revelation, where you're seeing, this is some of the wording and the tone that people approach God with. And then, of course, you've got Jesus when he's walking around on the earth, how people are responding to him and talking to him. And thinking a lot about that these days, like what tone are we using? Does it match scripture? Are there any things we're saying or any approaches or any tones in our conversation with God that actually don't seem like, well, that's weird because no one's ever talked to God like that in the Bible, and maybe it's over familiar, or maybe it's overly religious, and so thinking a lot about those kind of things, and hopefully that comes through on the songs. And then, it was wonderful to get to do a live studio thing because, I love, because these are worship songs and they're meant to be congregational, you always want them to sound like that in some shape or form. But sometimes when you're doing the big crowd worship album, the trade-off is you don't get to put as much musicality into the record. Like the bandwidth of the mix is taken up quite a lot by the crowd and the congregation, and that's great. But I really wanted to do a live studio record where we're full on having church in the studio, but actually getting to control that a bit more, so you can put more musicality and detail into the sonics of the whole thing. And I really love where it got to. We actually had a fantastic band, and then we brought in Lipscomb University Gospel Choir. So they kind of became our congregation. But we found this great place. A friend of mine just started in Nashville called Gold Pacific. So we used to have one in here in California, moved to Nashville, set up an amazing studio. And it's got the most ISO booths in whole of Nashville. It's got 7 and then a big live room. So we can have me and the keyboard player and the choir in the big live room, and then all the ISO booths, like drums in one, strings in one, amps in one, So it was just a wonderful place to capture, something with a real heartbeat of worship, but also preserve some of the musicality and detail that sometimes we don't get to hear.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so you're just releasing Life and Breath. We're talking about how we approach God. You're really bringing it back to the focus on not on emotion and culture, but focusing on God. I love that so much. And your songs have always done that just in my personal time of worship. And I know, certainly the hits are great, but even some of the deeper cuts, man, are just like straight arrow through the heart, and has always been really, really meaningful to me. So like, as you release, and you've done this for years and years and years, but as you release these songs out into the world and they start taking root in people's hearts, like, what are you praying for as people start listening?
Honestly, the prayer would be summed up by one of the songs on the album, which just simply says, "Let me see Jesus." It's the song. I recorded it once before. We had like a best of thing, but I wanted to put it on a proper record too, and trying to think how to do that in a fresh way, and invited Charity Gale in to come and lead with me, and she did a wonderful job. And I love this version, but the title of that song definitely sums up my heart for this project. I think I realized a while back that my main kind of charge or responsibilities of worship is not to help people to sing, it's to help people to see. And, it's really an interesting thing, isn't it? Because you can spend so much time thinking about helping people to sing, like, how do we link the song together? How do we write this melody? Or how do we come around this moment? And, as a band, but actually that is part of our job, but it isn't the main part. I think the main part is to help people to see, like, what are we presenting of who Jesus is? And so hopefully on this record, there's, songs about what God can do for us and how he shows up in our lives, what I like to call the helpfulness of God, but hopefully also the songs of the holiness of God, like the aspects of his nature and character and attributes that, they don't even involve us. Maybe we're not even in the story. We're not even in the song. They're actually these elements of who he is. The way he's just standalone worthy before we're even in the frame. And I think we have both on this record. And another thing that we've done, just trying to pursue depth. And but I don't want it to be cerebral and like, all just this experience of the mind. You want it to be heartfelt worship, but been leaning into some ancient things. So on this record, we have a version of the Lord's Prayer, which is actually an interesting one, because I was just going to sleep one night and I think I'd just seen like something of Beethoven's 7th Symphony on Instagram or something. And I had that melody in my head and I was just falling off to sleep. I suddenly realized, I could fit the Lord's Prayer to that. And it fit like hand with a glove, like the phrasing that I just came out fit that melody. And so I went in the next day to the studio with Leonard and I was like, hey, check this out. And we worked on it together and really loved that moment. But also found out 2025 is the 1700 year anniversary of the Nicene Creed. So
1700,
I thought,
wow.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? So we've got this kind of statement of faith that's made its way down through the centuries. It's glorious in terms of its richness, theological richness, but it's actually being used less and less in so much of the church, and many streams of the church not using it at all now. So the first thing I did was went to my pastor and said, hey, I know we've never done this. Would you mind if I led people in the Nicene Creed during our worship? And I thought I was going to have to sell it to him and, but he was all over it straight away. He's like, I would love that. Like he said, I've been thinking about how we can lean back into our heritage more, and something like that would be great. And there's so many wins to the Nicene Creed because you link in arms with a global church, you're linking arms with the historic church, you're rehearsing some beautiful truths that, even if they don't find their way into the service through the sermon or the songs, they'll get onto the table because they're in the creed. So it's actually a great thing to do. So I grew up in an Anglican church saying that thing, but I haven't said it for years, but I led everyone in it. And I'll tell you, at the end of it, everyone just burst into applause, which I wasn't expecting as an Anglican guy. I was like, oh man. And it happened at every service. We had 5 services. Every service, people resonating with it. I just simply led song 1, then told them, hey, as part of our worship today, I'd love to lean into an ancient statement of faith in the church. It's 1700 years old. Would you stand and say it with me? And people just so wholeheartedly, joined in. It was great. But then I went from that thinking, man, it would be great to have a song as well. Just as the more ways we can come around this thing, the better. And I was wondering how to even begin. That felt like a massive challenge to fit that thing into, the confines of a normal length song. And then I thought about my friends, City of Light in Sydney, a couple of guys there who write a lot of the songs, Johnny Robinson and Rich Thompson. And they're just such careful songwriters. They really go into stuff very diligently, and I thought they're definitely the guys. So we spent 5 months writing that song, and it's actually, they've just released a version, and then there's a version of my record too. It's called The God We Love, parenthesis, Nicene Creed. So all to say, on this record, things like the title song, Life and Breath, I think has a lot of depth and the story of God in it. And then these other things, always trying to pursue that, not at the expense of heart or passion, but definitely want to help people see something beautiful and powerful about who God is. And sometimes when you do that, the response takes care of itself, right?
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Oof.
I grew up in the Lutheran church, and we said the Nicene Creed every week, but it's been years since I've done that. And I love it that you're bringing that back into the mainstream. I think that's incredibly powerful. So thank you.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing because it's this treasure we have. And it's a bit weird, isn't it? If the church has set it down through the centuries for 1700 years and then suddenly it's going to die away. Yeah. That feels a bit odd. But one thing I love, it just takes some of the pressure off, because no matter what else I sung or said in that service, no matter what songs I choose, we already guaranteed that we put so many aspects of the nature, character, and story of God on the table for people. So those ingredients were in the meal, no matter what else happened in the service. And that actually felt pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
That's fantastic.
Now, you mentioned a song also that you did with Charity Gale. Who are some of the other artists that you did songs with on this project?
Yeah, brought a few friends in for this one. So Joel Barnes, A lot of people would know him for his song Promises, and then more recently a couple of things with Elevation Rhythm. And he's a great guy and a fantastic worship leader and has a real fresh little spin creatively. So interestingly, we've been trying to get together to write, and just our calendars hadn't worked. And we Leonard Jarman, who's a mutual friend of leads worship with both of us, amazing keys guy. We wanted the three of us to write. And so I was thinking, it's not going to happen in time for this record. And then the A&R guy from Integrity, Gilbert, he kept pushing me. He's like, I just really think you three should get together. And I was like, Gilbert, I've already looked. It's really hard. It's not really working. He's like, just have a look one more time. He's not really a pushy person as well. Yeah. So it makes you listen more, right? When a non-pushy person's, being a bit pushy. So we managed to figure out that we could. Leonard lives in Vegas, and we saw, if we both went to Vegas, there's these 2 days that we could go. And so we're in this warehouse that Leonard has use of. He had probably like 8 or 9 keyboards set up, his entire rig. And it's a great way to write with Leonard because he just moved to something really exciting really quickly. And we ended up writing 2.5 songs for the record in those 2 days, which is, that's just not normal. I mean, normally, I don't know, I'm probably writing 50 songs, and we're paring it down to about 10 songs, right? So it's unusual that two and a half of those, like a quarter of the songs, are going to happen in a couple of days in Vegas. But we have a song, Praise to the Most High, which released with me and Joel leading it. And then we have a song called Hallowed Be, which is a song that I started with Mitch Wong and then we completed there. And then another song, which a guy called Out Music, a Nigerian worship leader living in London, joined us on as well. So it was a very fruitful few days there. And then obviously I mentioned we got Lipscomb University Gospel Choir. And then a guy from my team called Quinton Trotter, who just has a lot to give. And I have him leading a couple of songs now when we go out and do stuff. And thought it'd be great for him to lead a song with me as well. So I have a song on there I wrote with Ethan Holst, Jason Ingram, and David Funk, which Quinton's leading with me. So awesome. It's a great team effort.
Wonderful.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
Love it.
Well, you mentioned the throne room thing earlier. Like you said that at the First Worth conference, and I use that when I teach. I credit you, of course, but it's that concept of, when we're picking songs, when we're putting theology on the lips of our people, does this song belong in the throne room?
Yeah.
That was maybe the most convicting thing I've ever heard as a worship leader.
I love that.
No doubt I've picked probably some songs that don't maybe belong in the throne room. But what a powerful...
Yeah, that whole let the throne set the tone is the way I like to say it.
Absolutely.
And it's a great filter to run things through. And, I like to think also like, is our worship more theater or is it more throne room? Oof. Because sometimes I feel like our congregational worship can lean into the theater. Yeah. Like we're getting so good at the production and the presentation and the lighting and all that stuff, and everything's timed down to the second. And, there's nothing inherently wrong with anything of that, but sometimes that feels like settling for a lesser thing. Yeah. Because if your worship is more theater than throne room, you're only going to get the power of theater. And theater can be a powerful thing, right? But it's not as powerful as the throne room of God.
Come on.
And I don't want to settle for the power of theater. I think there's something more. There's something much more profound that we can go after, and that's the power of throne room. And so it's definitely a thing I think about a lot. What I love is this song "Holy Forever." Obviously, exploded all around the world, and it's been beautiful just seeing it show up in all sorts of different places. And I was an early adopter of leading that song. I think the first time I ever heard it, I was like, wow, this has got something of the throne room about it.
Yeah.
And what I love is that song's probably the most sung song in the global church right now. And actually it's not a song of helpfulness. So many songs that get to that point, there's, we are a good part of the song. We're quite a big proportion of the lyric, and it's, about how God did this for us or did that for us. And that's all wonderful. But if that's all you ever sing, then maybe it's a problem. And I love that. Here's a song that is pure holiness of God, throne room tone, and it's the most sung song in the church right now. That's a good sign.
Incredible.
Yes.
Incredible. Okay, so this was not on my list, but I'm going to ask you, because you've written so many songs, and so many songs that have become a part of our journey with Christ. And it's really remarkable when I think back over my years of leading worship in the church, just how many Matt Redman songs. So like if you were gonna put like an all-time Matt Redman set together, like if you got 4 or 5 of your songs, what are you picking?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, I would want to balance those things we just talked about. It's an interesting thing because sometimes when you go to lead places, people really want to hear some of the older ones that were because they were part of a soundtrack of a season in their life.
Absolutely.
And that's so often the reason people will say, it's not like, oh, I love that song, it tickles my ears. They'll say like, I love that song because when my dad died, or that song because when our baby was born, or I love that song because I went through cancer and that was my soundtrack. And, and so I think I'd have to include a couple of those. And the number one for that would be 10,000 Reasons. And the number 2 one for that would probably be Blessed Be Your Name. So they might have to find their way in there. And then, funnily enough, like Heart of Worship seems to have had a bit of an upsurge. See like even some movements of younger people, leading that song. And that's kind of interesting to me because it's such an old song. I mean, it's fascinating how these songs can even come back around. Like this week, Brooke Lidgettwood put out a song that she wrote with Martin Smith called Garment of Praise. And then they tagged onto that my song Undignified. And I realized, man, that song is 30 years old.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy to me. I haven't led that for so long. And it was amazing seeing her leading that with a big room of college students. And so it's fascinating. But as to your question, then I'd want to put some newer songs in there too, because they're the ones that really live in you in a different way. I mean, I love leading Let Me See Jesus. I think Let Me See Jesus into Heart of Worship might sum up my whole aim of what I'm trying to do in worship, honestly.
Oh, I love that
and,
so
I lead them both in the key of E, and they're just a beautiful little fit. So maybe something like that. We'll go Blessed Be Your Name into Let Me See Jesus, into Heart of Worship, into something else. Maybe, let's put a brand new one from the album, like maybe Life and Breath. I'm loving leading that. It's just really telling something of the story of God and the story of the gospel, but using life and breath as the lyrical thread that runs through it. And then we'll end with 10,000 Reasons. There you go.
Oh my goodness. My God, when we were in college, I heard Bill Gaither say, we don't sing old songs just because they're old. We sing them because they survived.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
There's really something, the older I get, there's really something to that. And for a guy like you that has given us so many, I mean, I'll never forget the first time I heard the bridge to Blessed Be Your Name. We don't have a lot of lyrics like that, Yeah. You're going to give.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you give and take away. I was going back and forward between whether I should include that in the song or not. And the reason was I knew with some people it wouldn't be a popular thing to put in there. And I honestly had a lot of pushback over the years. People saying, I changed the lyrics of that section, or I don't believe God takes away. And I'm like, wow, I don't know, you must have had a nice life then. I mean, like,
exactly.
Yeah, congratulations. But I feel like I just remember, like, at the time thinking that feels like a bold thing to put in there. But the reason I included it, firstly, because it's obviously thoroughly biblical, comes straight out of the mouth of Job and, in the Old Testament. But the reason was because I thought, I like that this lyric cost you something. Yeah. Like most lyrics we say, they don't really have a cost attached to them. But I feel like to say you give and take away, blessed be your name, and be prepared to live that, you've got to really believe in the sovereignty of God over your life. And you've also really got to believe in his Father's heart for you, that he really cares for you, that he wants the best for you. And believing those two things together is actually a really powerful thing. But it's the place from which you can say a statement like that. Even when your world's hit rock bottom, even when stuff's been taken away from you that you couldn't ever fathom would have been taken away from you, you're still able to find your way to the place of trust and hope and praise and faith and say, blessed be your name. And Amen. So, and I think, as you know, I think we wrote that song shortly after 9/11. That was definitely in the seeding of that song, thinking like, man, we need a vocabulary for these moments. Like, I was visiting some churches at the time, and I was on sabbatical, and some of the worship leaders were just singing the same songs we always sung. And I could see the preachers were really honing their message to the moment. Yeah. There's a lot of fragility and brokenness and questions, right? And fear and all these different things going on. But we were just singing the same songs in some churches. And I felt like that feels weird to me. Yeah. Partly because it doesn't feel relevant to the moment, but also because it doesn't feel biblical. I think the late Eugene Peterson said about 70% of the content of the Psalms is lament-based, which is, a massive proportion. And that got me thinking like, we need a vocabulary for these kind of moments. And, so that's what that whole song's come from.
Thank you. Thanks for leaving it in. Thanks for leaving it in. And thanks for, on behalf of worship leaders all over the world, man, thank you so much for the thoughtfulness and the incredible songs that you've given us to lift, man. It's a gift.
Thank you so much.
It really is.
I mean, and funny, because sometimes through these songs, you meet the most amazing people. You meet worshipers who've maybe been through the toughest thing you can fathom, and yet somehow they're still singing that song. They're still finding a way. What a sacrifice of praise, right? To believe against all odds, in the sense, that God is for me, God is with me, God hasn't exited the building, God is still on his throne. And had some friends who had a little baby die, and they asked me to lead that song up the front in the service. And I said to them, I will do that, but I need you to explain to your families, some of whom weren't Christian, like why we're doing this. Because I said it will sound callous. If I just get up and say you give and take away after you just lost your sweet little baby, I need you to give some context for that if I'm going to sing that. And so they did that. They said like, hey, this is the reason we're singing these words, and we don't understand, and we're in the middle of a pit of pain right now. There's so much confusion and all these massive emotions swirling around, but we do believe that God is with us. We do believe that, one day he's going to make sense of it all. And so we sung those words, and it was so powerful because they'd given context to it. But I was also so inspired by them, thinking like, you can sing that after a moment like that. Wow. What a sacrifice of praise.
My goodness, man. Oh, that I would have that kind of faith. That's incredible.
Yes.
Well, guys, if you're listening, it's Matt Redman, man. It's the one and only. And we're going to get to the big room question here in just a second.
Well, it's actually not the one and only. There's quite a lot of Matt Redmans.
Are there really? Well, there's only one like you, man. There's only one like you.
Since the advent of social media, I'm very aware of a lot of them. There's one guy who's actually a church organist in England, which is kind of weird. Yeah, so he's the real musical Matt Redman. He actually knows some chords and can read music and stuff like that. There's an astronomer who, all to do, not astronomer, all to do with astrophysics and the stars and all that. And then there's a Matt Redman who is an agricultural specialist, who's a very well looked up to farmer. And
wow.
Yeah, we've been confused for each other a few times.
He
does a real job, does some actual hard work. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, make sure you go follow Matt Redman Music on the socials. And you got to grab this new record, Life and Breath. It drops here at the beginning of October. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so Matt, we end every conversation with the same question. We call it the big room question. If we could gather all the worship leaders and all their volunteers, all the production leaders and all their volunteers, and we got them all together in one big room, we gave you a microphone, what would you want to say to them about what we're doing in the local church?
Yeah. What comes to mind for me is one of my favorite quotes is Oswald Chambers. And he says, complete weakness and dependence will always be the occasion for the Spirit of God to manifest his power. Complete weakness and dependence will always be the occasion for the Spirit of God to manifest his power. And that's a great lesson to learn, because we can get expert in different things. We can build up our skills and our experience, and we can build fantastic teams. All that stuff counts for something. But the interesting thing is the more good you get at something, the more proficient you get at something, the more skillful or experienced you get, the less you're likely to maintain a posture of dependence. You can start thinking, oh, we've got this figured out now. We'll take it from here, God. Thanks for help in the early years, but I think we know how to do this now. And you can apply that to songwriting. You can apply it to worship leading, production, or any form of ministry. You've got to try and recognize that you're still in a dependent state. And for anything really meaningful, beautiful, spiritual, powerful, transformational to happen, you're just in the same boat you were on day one. Like, you might be able to play a few more chords now and keep in time a bit better and sing in tune. And you have this great band around you, but actually, essentially nothing's really changed, because if you're really wanting that powerful kingdom of God thing to happen in this moment, we're going to need God's help just as much as we did on day one when we didn't know anything. And the key is how to remain in that place. It's interesting with King David. Towards the end of his life, he has this moment where it says he counts the fighting men. He sends out Joab, the commander of the armies, and Joab tried to dissuade him because he knew it wasn't a cool thing to do. It's like going to offend God. And David says, go and do it. Joab didn't even count one of the tribes because he knew such an offensive thing to do. By the time he comes back, David realizes his mistake, and fair play to David when he repents, right? He returns to true north pretty quickly and, repents very full force. But think about that moment. Like, there was some pride that had crept in, like, how strong are we now? But also maybe a complete lack of dependence. He's like, we've got it from here. We're a big, massive army now. We have power of our own. And compare it to the heart of that small shepherd boy who just went out to fight Goliath, this giant, when no one else would go anywhere near him. Out goes David with a sling and some stones and a staff in his hand. And, we all know the rest of that story. But imagine right then that the dependence of that shepherd boy, knowing that this has to be God. And then contrast it with this king now who's surrounded by armies and military strength, but he'd lost something of that dependence. So the key is, how are we going to maintain that kind of shepherd boy heart? How are we going to maintain that pursuit of the power and the presence of God, and that absolute understanding that unless the Lord builds the house, we're going to be laboring in vain. No matter how skilled or proficient or experienced we become, it will all be in vain if he's not in the middle of it. So complete weakness and dependence will always be the occasion for the Spirit of God to manifest his power.
Man, what a word. What a word. That'll go in the Mount Rushmore of the big room answers for sure, man. And thank you just for how you have from a distance pastored so many of us around the world over the years when you're with your teachings and your songs and your writing. And we're just incredibly grateful for the time today. And really,
yes, absolutely.
We're cheering on this new record, man. Can't wait to see how.
Oh, thank you. It's always a joy to hang with you guys. Thanks. You're very kind with your words too. Thank you.
Man, can you even believe we just spent time with Matt Redman?
It was incredible. I mean, I was taking notes. I was like, I'm going to just slip my hand over here to the side and I'm going to be writing. And that's what I did the whole time he was talking.
Kim is a copious note taker.
He gave so many great one-liners that I didn't want to forget. I mean, man, power packed.
Yeah, so good. And this record, man, the Nicene Creed, and there's a ton of stuff on there. You got to go get it. Life and Breath from Matt Redman. Okay, Kim, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for prayer concerns. This is one of my favorite times of the week, when I get to read these savage comments from people's churches, man. The congregation, they just like to give you the business, man. There's no other way to say it. They're out there giving you the business. And it might be on all manner of what you're doing, your lighting, your sound, your song choice, your clothing, your personage, like the way you look or walk or sing or whatever. And so here's what we're doing. We're not making fun of them. We're not making fun of you. We are sharing these so we can all take a breath. You know, the world is a very serious place. And we hope this is just a fresh breath. In a sense, a love letter to you, the listener, from us. And these are actual comments from real church members in legit churches all around the world. Send yours into us. I know you've got them. Go to worshipleaderprobs.com, our website, click prayer concerns up in the menu and submit them there. You'll always be anonymous. So will your church's name. You can also DM those to us on any of the socials. So let's dive right in.
Here we go.
Prayer concern number 1. Cut your long hair. You'll receive more anointing. I promise.
The length of the hair has to do with anointing.
I mean,
okay.
I think in biblical times, probably a lot of them had long hair.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they
most
could
of them.
Take the old, wagon or camel. They couldn't hop on the camel and go down to great clips of Jerusalem. You know, they probably had long hair.
Great clips of Jerusalem.
I don't know that that's a thing. Okay, number 2, prayer concern number 2. I got this comment after a service recently. It said, "Wow, you've really gained weight."
Oh, that is a big no-no. You just do not discuss people's weight. Oh my goodness.
Doesn't need to be said. But you should always think to yourself, does this need to be said? Is the world a better place right now before I say this, or will it be a better place after I say it? Will it be?
And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't need to be said.
Yeah, doesn't need to be said. Okay, number 3, prayer concern number 3. When I was a teenager, our church's drummer left, so I agreed to learn how to play the drums to fill in for them. That's pretty nice, right? You're learning an instrument because the team needs it. That's great. A few months in, the drummer from a neighboring church, who was also a teenager, was visiting, came up to me after service and said, "You really stink." That's a flag on the play, man. On the play.
That's a little unhinged. I mean, oh my goodness.
That's a penalty box.
And they weren't joking
or
anything.
There.
That was just
it's a penalty
man.
box. Little time in the box for that one, man. Yeah. No good. No bueno, fam.
No bueno.
Number 4, prayer concern number 4. After my uncle stopped preaching, he told everyone they could go home. But the lead elder said they have one item left. So he said, quote, "I guess it's not over till the fat lady sings," end quote. And yep, you guessed it. The last item was a rather large lady singing a hymn. That may be the most unhinged of all the unhinged prayer concerns we've ever gotten. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I just,
we
are better than this. We are better than
church.
this.
Come on, church. We're better than that. Come on now.
Wow.
Come on now. Okay, here's the last one, the bottom of the pudding cup, prayer concern number 5. When I came back to lead worship after having my baby, someone came up to me and said, "I'm glad you had your baby. You sing so much better not pregnant."
Oh, Mike, you're kidding me.
I mean, look, as I am a man, I've never been pregnant. And I do not know, but I would imagine it does some things to the breathing and all kinds of stuff. You're probably not going to be singing at your best when you're singing for 2, you know?
Now, I have not been pregnant either, but I know plenty of women who brought it while they were pregnant the entire 9 months. So,
go easy.
Oh my goodness. But what is this with all of these comments? These are just not things that you say to people, especially in church, especially as believers in Jesus.
Yep. Yep. That deserves a big old come on, fam. And if Longyear was on here, he would say it deserves a throat punch.
Absolutely a throat punch.
A Pastor Scott throat punch. Oh my word, fam. So those are prayer concerns for another week. Thank you for sending yours in to us. Please keep them coming. Worshipleaderprobs.com. Click on prayer concerns up in the box, or you can DM those to us on any of the socials. Well, we had an unbelievable week in September at Experience Conference. It was absolutely killer. And so we're getting a jump start on Experience 26, which is next September 8th through the 11th at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort in Orlando. It's at Walt Disney World, guys. It's really, really a blast. The resort is unbelievable. You'll never stay at a resort like this for this price ever. And they'll roll it early or roll it late for you if you're coming to the conference. So, and those room reservations are already open through Disney. So you want to jump on that for sure. And you want to register for the conference. You've got a whole year to build excitement and bring your team with you. You got a whole year to get your leadership excited about investing in your ministry. And it's an investment in your ministry, and you will be better off for it. So there's a link in our bio for Experience 26. You can use the discount code PROBS26, PROBS 26, PROBS 26. It's going to save you $30 a piece.
Yes.
It's like me.
Yes.
It's like I'm giving you $30, 30 bones for listening to the podcast.
Saving
today.
money is always a good thing.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So make sure you do that. Hit the link in our bio. Use PROBS26 when you check out. Worship Karaoke. We're having a blast with that. We dropped our first episode of season 5. Make sure you're following on YouTube at Worship Probs. You're going to want to check that out. Kim and I had a disagreement and then a really good conversation. And so if you don't know what that is, you're just going to have to watch and find out. You get the first 15 minutes on Instagram. You get the whole episode on YouTube. Instagram only lets us post 15 minutes. So head over to Worship Probs on YouTube and subscribe. You can watch the whole episode there. Well, we've been doing a lot of worship retreats this weekend, this fall. Yeah.
We have. They're one of my favorite things to do. And we have really been getting back in the groove of that. And I just love it. What is one of your favorite pieces or parts of that day and that experience?
Well, I think something really special happens in the context of a team when you go through an experience together. And that's what this is. It's a day of an experience that we walk with you and your team through for the whole day. And, we talk about obviously some spiritual things, how to prepare spiritually to serve and what that discipline looks like. We talk about practical preparation. We do some team building exercises. We end the day with just a beautiful time of communion as a team, and it's really, really a powerful experience. Every time I am able to observe that, I absolutely love it. And then there are breakouts. Kim leads what is essentially a masterclass for your vocalists, how to broaden your range, communication, and being expressive, and correct vocal technique, which we all want to have, for longevity, for the old instrument and vocal cords. And then I'll lead some breakouts for the band and the production team. And a lot of times we'll end the day with, after that communion experience, we'll come together for a big rehearsal where we'll try to put into play some of the techniques and the things that we talked about that day over the rehearsal. And then we'll stay over to lead with the team that weekend. We don't do that every place, but we do that a lot of places. And so, man, we'd love to talk with you about coming to your team or coming for your team night or team event or whatever that looks like at your church. Send me an email, info@worshipleaderprobs.com, and we'll get the conversation started. But we're scheduling for 2026 now, and would really, really love to come. Like, look, if you are in Florida or Georgia or Alabama or Mississippi, and you thought, hey, Brian, you and Kim should come down here in January, February, March, like in the really cold Midwest, I'd be like, yes.
Would you agree with that? Yes.
Here am I, Lord, send me. My yes is on the table. So yeah, reach out to us, info@worshipleaderprobs.com, and we will we'll talk about what that would look like in your church. But we're always grateful that you spend some time listening with us every week. And I know that you enjoyed that conversation with Matt, and we're just always grateful that you listen and subscribe and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So remember to hit subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And please do us a favor, go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating with a nice review. That is such a huge help in helping to spread the word about the podcast. Thanks too for following us on all the socials at Worship Probs on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube, at Worship Leader Probs, as Brian said earlier, on TikTok. And join the Worship Probs community group on Facebook. And on X, just look for the Worship Leader Probs hashtag.
Yeah, and we love our friend Ali Bajanos over at Ali Be Creative. She does excellent work on our podcast. The graphics, the editing, all the stuff that you see. She's does awesome, an amazing. Yeah. She's absolutely incredible. She does Kim's podcast as well. And so if you're looking for help with a podcast, or you need some social media coaching, or new website, logos, whatever it is in the creative space, Ali's your girl. Ali Bajanos, Bachanos, over on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll tag her in the description as well. She'll crush it for you, I promise. So reach out. And thanks to our friend Scott Hoke for our intro. Guys, we absolutely love you. Thanks so much for listening to episode 356. Until next time, deuces.
KT out.